The story today begins with the guys who are waiting for their friend who just left the army. How can a soldier be late? He apologized and said that he would be there soon, and let them go to karaoke for now. The guys didn't understand why the hell he was taking them to karaoke, but he also added that their teacher named So-woon would be there. Here, the guys were also in shock, and did not understand why he called the teacher. This is the woman who taught them the basics of design in high school. In general, he was quite beautiful, but her friends still didn't understand why the hell he called her. Let them go to karaoke and he'll tell everything later. The telephone conversation ended, and the second guy was told that their teacher, So-woon, was coming. He also did not understand why she was needed there. It's surprising that so much time has passed since they went to high school, but the boy reacted strangely to the teacher. After which the actions were transported to the past, when the boy was sitting on the stairs and it seemed that he was crying. Some lady came up to him and called him by name Jae-young. She was just wondering what he was doing here at such a time, and he was surprised that the teacher came here. It turns out that the guy was upset, because he had absolutely no talent. It seems that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't do better. But the teacher didn't think so. She put her hand on his shoulder and said that this was not true. She tells him that every person has bad periods in life, even she does, but if he manages to overcome it, then he will become much better. But he is still not sure that he can overcome it. Of course, everything will work out for him. Let Jae-young just trust his teacher and finally stop crying. From that moment, the boy did not forget So-woon. Still, she was the only one who managed to support him, so it seems that he fell in love with her. At this point, the dude started singing a simply terrible song about how much he wants the girl to like him. It seems that my ears will soon fall off. This karaoke had a point system, and he began to be indignant at the fact that he could only score 35. In his opinion, this thing was simply broken. They've already been brought food and drinks, but their friend still hasn't come with the teacher. Why the hell did they take so long? He thought about the fact that he had not remembered the teacher for a very long time, but now he began to be very worried about meeting her again. But the guy didn't understand at all why she would have to come with Ganwoo. He heard that she had just recently gotten married. While one was thinking that he should not worry about her, the other was only thinking that their teacher was an incredibly beautiful girl. He didn't care at all that she was their teacher because they were already over 20 years old, but our Romeo still had doubts. All the same, the girl appears and greets everyone. In the background is their friend who returned from the Gangwoo army. While their friend complimented that the teacher had become even more beautiful than before, the other only confirmed his words. The lady seems to like this compliment, but Gangwoo, who is still standing in the background, doesn't understand why the hell they are complimenting her. She was simply shocked when she saw Seo-kun's beard and didn't understand why he needed it at that age. It turns out that he wanted to transplant it onto his eyebrows. She also said hello to the second boy and said that she was glad to see him. He himself was glad to meet his teacher. Damn. Now the boy was much taller than her, and she even hugged him in honor of the meeting. We have an anxiety problem. The main character does not understand what is happening, and she turns out to have a real talent for music. Even now she sings just a great love song. Previously, the boy thought that she was too old for them, but now that they have grown up, he perceives her as if he were the same age. The friend decided to ask if he thought there was something between Gangwoo and the teacher, but Gangwoo had already told them that they had met by chance on the street. But they noticed one very important detail. It seems that there was not enough sportswear. Damn it, his friend turns out to be right. He clearly sees that there is no sports uniform. He didn't understand what kind of strangeness this was. Maybe she was one of those people who organize protests against sports uniforms. Then the guy simply whispered something in the lady's ear, and it seems that she was surprised by this. And although no, in response, the girl began to laugh at his joke. Everyone else looked with displeasure because they also wanted to get her attention. She urgently needed to make a call, so don't let them get bored while she's talking on the phone. As soon as she came out, the guy started asking what kind of relationship he was in with the girl. Still, he decides to joke with them. Do they really want to know this? This phrase meant to them as if they were really dating. These idiots really believed that there could be some kind of relationship between a teacher and a student. They just met after a while, and now she is helping him prepare for the competition. While one friend was simply indignant because Gangwoo didn't tell him anything, our main character was happy but didn't understand why he was happy. The conversation turned to the fact that it seemed that that girl was already married. It seemed that they all already knew about it. To be honest, she had already divorced her husband and talked about how she would like to spend some time with her former students. And now each of these idiots began to think only that the girl experienced stress after a divorce at an early age and is now most likely looking for a new guy. So she just returned, and the guys, like real idiots, told her to sit down and have a drink with them. Everyone did exactly that, but the main character still couldn't stop looking into her eyes. She was simply incredibly beautiful. The guys turn out to be too primitive, and while they drink beer, they try to discreetly pay attention to her. When suddenly the military man decides that it's time to play the king's game, the person who can score the maximum number of points in karaoke will command everyone else. And the punishment for the losers will be a hug or a kiss on the lips. It seems that the guys liked such a cool idea. But in her opinion, it was a completely unfair game because only she has something to lose. He turns out to be a real manipulator and says that only the teacher has a chance to win this game. Then she agrees. Of course, the main character becomes the first. It seems that he is not very happy about this. Although the fact that he can hug his teacher or even kiss Sowoon completely changes the situation, it's definitely worth a try. But damn, it seems like he's worried too much that even the microphone fell out of his hands. The guys warned him that he'd better get ready as soon as possible, because the song will start soon. It seems difficult for him to pick it up from under the table. Under the table, there is not only a microphone, but also real treasures. Apparently it was fate itself that gave him such an opportunity. Now the most important thing for him was to win this game, but all his friends said that he was completely off-key. He definitely shouldn't go on stage, it's a real shame. And the main character himself is very worried because he simply cannot concentrate on his song. All this time he thought exclusively about the treasures that he had found and prayed that it would not seem to him. In the end, the result showed only 38 points. For a friend, this is of course just a great excuse to joke, but he clearly remembers the last time when he scored 35 points. The guy with the beard says that he was just joking, and now he will show a master class. What the hell? This guy decided to sing a rock song and just yells at everyone at karaoke. Even the teacher was shocked that he chose such a genre of music. But even this doesn't help him, and he scores a pitiful 25 points. What a shame, even worse than the main character. The next turn came for the guy who came from the army, of course. He chose exactly the song that was associated with the army. Well, it was the teacher's turn and she chose another romantic song. The main character just looked at her singing and thought about how beautiful she was. In the end, she scored as many as 90, but Gangwoo scored 93, which means he becomes the king of this party. Well, now the time has come for the king to begin to command his subordinates. They decided to pretend that the king would give his order. For some reason, he said that everyone would hug the teacher for 10 seconds. She didn't understand such a strange desire because it was completely dishonest. Gangwoo didn't understand why she was acting this way because they were playing a game and it would be better not to spoil all the fun. Well, to hell with it, the teacher agrees, which means Seo-kun will be first. While the friend was simply hugging the teacher, the main character sat and thought about the fact that that idiot was still the first person she hugged. Just look at his face. Right now he's hugging the girl he likes. What a bastard. The time has expired. Now it is the turn of the main character, only he changed the conditions a little, which made everyone shocked. Surprisingly, the teacher calmly agreed and asked if she was doing everything correctly. Even the main character himself thought that all this was somehow strange. Damn, not only did he get such a cool wish, but he also asked for forgiveness for hugging the teacher. What the hell? All the same, the guy who returned from the army is simply a genius, but our boy is in complete shock. He has already found treasures, but now he has also hugged the man he loves so much. Hugging a teacher turns out to be very cool, as if his dream has finally come true. When suddenly he decides that it would be a great idea for her to kiss the main character, everyone was simply shocked by such a statement. The fat man couldn't understand why the hell he treats the main character so well that he gives him the best wishes. But in his opinion, it was the king's order, and only he decides what can be done and what cannot be done. The teacher simply asked how he should be kissed. Then the soldier replied that he should do it at his own discretion. The girl removed his hair from his forehead, and then our boy thought that she would just kiss his forehead. But everything happened exactly as it should have been from the very beginning. The main character received that very kiss that he could not even dream of. Damn! The soldier didn't even expect that he would kiss him on the lips, but the fat man was simply jealous in silence. It's just that the main character was so cutely shy that she decided that it would be better to do just that. But the guy with the beard begged to be called cute too. Well, now it's the soldier's turn. He hasn't made a wish in his direction yet, and judging by his smile, he has prepared something special. The main character himself is now sitting in complete shock and cannot even believe that everything turned out so cool. It turns out that he didn't come up with anything at all, and therefore passes. The game is over. Now the guy with the beard has definitely lost all hope of hugging the teacher. He takes him away to go outside and smoke, but he doesn't understand why the hell the soldier never smoked cigarettes. Now his plan becomes more clear. Everything was done precisely so that they would be left alone, and maybe then the main character would have a chance. The mission failed. The girl said that she would now go to the restroom and he simply agrees. Just as he needed to urgently leave after all the drinks he had drunk, the teacher left just in time. Although he still thinks about the fact that he managed to kiss the teacher. Still, he considered her simply incredibly beautiful. He had been in love with her since school. While he was thinking about the fact that he would like to date her, someone started knocking on his door. It turned out to be a military man and a teacher. They were looking for those guys who had disappeared so suddenly. Then he stopped worrying because there were only Ganwoo and the teacher and himself. Something strange just begins to happen. Apparently, these guys decided to continue their game of karaoke, but the main character was in complete shock. Oh damn, everything was exactly as we thought. Now the main character was just terribly offended. They decided to start playing football, while Ganwoo called the main character a loser who constantly looks at his girlfriend. Now the boy became interested in listening to what they were discussing. The teacher said that she didn't understand what the hell was going on. It turns out that from the very beginning, Gangwoo had an incredible plan to play football with the teacher. He considered her an excellent player. Damn it! Everything happened exactly as the main character thought, because those two were in a relationship, damn Ganwoo. He still decides to ask the girl if she had to choose from those two guys who she would play football with, but she didn't understand why she had to choose one. After which the girl called Jae-young's name. At this moment, the main character also wanted to join the game. The guy is, of course, too surprised. At first he thought that his friend wanted to help him meet the girl, and now he plays football with her. It seems that he has become completely insolent. He directly declares that right now he will defeat her in football, just as he won in karaoke. But she believed that it was not worth playing because the others might return. Damn, the situation is simply unrealistically awkward, and what should he do now? Why the hell did that bastard Ganwoo decide that he could play football with the teacher? But it doesn't stop there. Let her now start preparing for the football match. Our boy was just watching everything from the side. He couldn't believe that the teacher actually agreed to play football with these idiots. How is this even possible? After which his friend with a beard returned and wanted to ask what the hell the main character was doing here. Having heard the door open, they decide that it would be better to postpone the football match until later. The boy makes excuses by saying that he just wanted to get some fresh air. That's why he walked for so long. Be that as it may, let the main character quickly sit down so that they could continue playing, but it seemed to him that soon he would simply go crazy. But the military man had a very happy face because he just had to wait until everyone left, and then he could play football with the teacher. After which the guys decided that they needed to order more drinks to have a better time. While they were sitting at karaoke, it had already started to rain, and how surprising it was that no one had umbrellas. Suddenly the soldier found a simply ingenious solution to the problem, pointed somewhere and thought that they could go there to start the second round. What the hell? The main character was simply shocked that he actually pointed at the hotel building, but according to the dude with the beard, it was just a great idea. Then our boy decides to say directly that it would be strange if the teacher went with them. But the soldier did not see any problem at all in this. He decided to say that they would go drink for about 2 more hours and then go home. The bearded man also said that walking in such weather would be simply terrible, so it was better to go to the hotel. Well, it turns out that this girl is too easy to influence. She agrees to go with them, but only for 2 hours. Great! Then have one of the guys go to the local supermarket to buy more drinks and have them bring them back to the hotel. They decided to rent 1 room for everyone. They were going to drink drinks anyway, so this was the best solution. For one thing, things would have time to dry after the rain. Even though the girl ran at the speed of the flash, she still managed to get caught in the rain too much. All the guys looked at her drying her hair. And then the military man decides to make a simply brilliant proposal for her to change her uniform, but she did not understand what he meant. It was just necessary to take other things. It was much easier for the guys after they took the usual uniform, but its uniform was too wet due to the rain. She wanted to say that she was completely fine even despite the rain, but Gangwoo still begins to convince her that the rain affected her things too much. Well, if that's the case, the girl agrees once again. But the main character can't understand why the hell the teacher always listens to everything he says. It's good that the hotel had a new outfit that she can take until her things get back to normal. But the main character still remembers very well that he found treasures under the table, and this worries him greatly. Well, since now everything was normal, the girl decided to offer to continue drinking drinks, and they grabbed the food. But the guys here are the most primitive, and when they see a girl, the gears in their heads begin to work much slower, especially when she pours drinks for them. While the guy with the beard was only thinking about how beautiful the teacher had become, they had already begun to celebrate Gangwoo's return from the army. Still, they were having fun, and the military man was trying to attract the teacher's attention with stupid jokes. The bearded man wanted to pour more drinks for the girl so that she would consider him caring. In short, everyone wanted to please her. And only the main character all this time sat on the sidelines and thought only that they were behaving too strangely, like some kind of animals. All that was in his head was that Gangwoo really tried to play football with her as soon as they left them. Now he hates him. The action moves to the moment when the party had already taken place. The girl drank too many drinks, so she immediately went to bed. Everyone was simply shocked that the teacher was able to drink so much. But this was not the only problem. The main character was also already asleep, and they were worried at what moment this bastard managed to drink so much. The guy with the beard doesn't know it himself. At first he drank drinks without them, and he doesn't know what happened then. Suddenly, the guy with the beard decides to have a heart-to-heart talk with Ganwoo and ask about the relationship that is going on between him and the teacher. Did he really lie? And they are still dating? Of course not. And then he decides to whisper in his ear what really happened. He was simply shocked when Ganwoo told him the truth. It turns out that from the very beginning, he invited the teacher here only to hold a football match. Damn it. He's really shocked and asks if they're really soccer teammates. Ganwoo tries to shut him up so that the teacher doesn't accidentally wake up. Suddenly, someone starts to wake up and hears the whole conversation that is happening between them. Then Ganwoo told his incredible plan of how to play football with her. It turned out to be the main character. He heard what they were saying. They wanted to make it as if the teacher herself was on the football field, and then there would definitely be no complaints. Even from the very beginning, when the main character saw those same treasures, this was also Ganwoo's evil plan. But it seems that the boy will not like this plan. It seems that now their dream, which they had since their school days, can come true, just as our boy woke up on time. But now he can't do anything at all and barely even hears what those bastards are saying. The guy with the beard asked not to stop him because he really wanted to practice on the field, but Ganwoo wasn't going to stop him. On the contrary, he wants to help his friend so that his football game will be simply unforgettable. While those two idiots are still trying to do what they planned, our boy is trying to overcome the drinks he drank. Still, his love for the teacher turns out to be stronger, and he thinks that he simply cannot allow them to play football with her. Even his eyes have become much more serious. It seems strange, but that guy thought it was strange that the girl plays football so well, but Ganwoo asked him not to doubt because she is quite real. With all this, the main character no longer knows what to do, whether he can even stop his friends from playing football against her. At some point, the guy with the beard even thinks about waking up the main character so that he can play football. At that moment, the guy decided that it would be better to pretend that he was sleeping. Then Ganwoo said that it would be better to leave him alone and let him sleep normally. In his opinion, the main character will be the person who will try to dissuade them. Then the game of football begins. Balls appear on the field. The guys thought it was simply incredible to start playing football after so long, as if they were back in school again. The main character is still awake and only thinks about the fact that they are acting like real bastards who decided to play football with a girl. He was still sure that those idiots were doing the wrong thing, and indeed, playing football against a weak woman was a real crime. They didn't care at all just to have a cool time, but the main character is different. He starts to get angry because he liked the teacher, but now he needs to come up with a plan with which he can stop them. The teacher wakes up and asks what the hell he is doing, and it was at that moment that the main character came to the rescue. This is a twist. He definitely didn't expect the teacher to wake up so unexpectedly right during the football game. And the main character is also such a savior. He just hit his head on the sofa, which means it was too late to save someone. She was curious to know what the hell was going on right now, but the bearded man tried to convince her that everything was completely normal. Now the complaints have appeared against Ganwoo because he was the one who said that the plan was completely perfect and she would not wake up while playing football. For some reason, he quite calmly talks about the fact that the bearded man just wanted to know what it was like to play football with a girl, and therefore decided to arrange a match to see if the teacher would be angry with them. What the hell is going on? It's as if Ganwoo is just putting her into hypnosis with his voice. The girl said that she shouldn't be angry at all. She was just sleeping and didn't think that she would play football. The girl had quite a lot of complaints because she was injured. After examining Ganwoo, he said that the bearded man really hit her too hard. She had bruises, so he asked this idiot to apologize to the girl. To say that the bearded man was in shock is to say nothing. This idiot really asked for forgiveness because he should have played more carefully, and the main character is trying to understand what kind of shit is happening right now. She was only asked if everything was okay with her. Everything was fine because the teacher felt much better than before. In such cases, Ganwoo comes up with a simply brilliant idea for them to continue their football match as planned from the very beginning. She only remembered that they were already playing football while she was sleeping, but in response, the guy simply promised that this time the match would be played more carefully. The bearded man doesn't even think about waiting for their conversation to end, so he immediately decides to burst onto the football field. In his opinion, this was only the first time he had met such a tough opponent like her. And the teacher refuses to believe in his words, because such a master of sports cannot have such an opponent. After which she drew attention to something that lay in another part of the room. It was the main character, and she didn't understand why the hell he was still sleeping. The guys asked her not to think about him because this idiot just left the game. In such cases, they begin to pass the balls and gradually the game begins. He talks about how he was making passes at that moment while the girl was just sleeping. Gangwoo, with her snow-white smile, says that Madam wanted to show a master class on how to play football, but she cannot believe that she could say such a thing. Perhaps Ganwoo heard something wrong, but he clearly remembers what she meant. She really turns out to be too easy to influence, so now she will have to fight against two guys. He tells the bearded man to be much more attentive during this game, because she definitely has a couple more aces up her sleeve. But he can't believe that now he will be able to play football against the teacher. Can he really no longer restrain his strength? A short moment of silence before the real game begins. It seems that the guys still have a plan with which they can defeat it. In her opinion, there was nothing wrong with this, and the teacher agreed to demonstrate a couple of techniques especially for them. Still, there is something to learn from the teacher. The bearded man was in such shock when he saw a new technique, as if he had found the same treasure as the main character. It was simply incredible, because the way the girl handled the sword was as if Ronaldo himself was playing. Somehow the hell Gangwoo says that everything was completely different from what he says. Maybe he should take a closer look at her techniques. The guy helps her make this move much better so that the bearded man can see how to do it correctly. Even the teacher was shocked by this, but apparently he's in real shock. Is it really the first time he's playing football? And he's so surprised. Now she is already beginning to understand what is really happening here. It seems that she does not like playing football with them. Where is the main character who must save her? And here he is, just lying on the couch and trying to understand why the hell these guys are discussing her soccer skills. Although it seems that he is jealous of those guys because they have the opportunity to play football against her, but he does not have such an opportunity. What kind of crap did Gangwoo just say? It seems that even the bearded man was shocked by such a statement. It just seemed to him that the girl was just terribly embarrassed now, because only she was showing that she could play football so coolly. Maybe they could start playing for real. The teacher did not expect such a turn of events and said that they absolutely did not need to show how cool players they were, because she did not want to play at all. But the bearded man had already agreed with Ganwoo. It also seemed to him that it would be wrong if only Madame played football. Oh crap. Now she's definitely trapped and she'll have to play football with them? Of course she won't be able to win. She just thought about the fact that their abilities to play football were different. Gangwoo had mostly only top kicks, but the bearded man only had bottom kicks. At this moment, he still understands that the teacher decided to prepare for a football match. It's even funny that she really thinks that she can fight against them. She was simply warned that she would not be able to win anyway, but now let her get ready to hit the balls. She couldn't even believe that she would actually have to play alone against two opponents. Maybe the main character would wake up and save her. And who even cares that the girl simply cannot beat them? The guys are already in the mood for the game and are clearly not going to back down. But now the boy is clearly going to play big. If suddenly the girl is not going to make a pass, then he will simply take it from her and go to the goal. Of course, the situation is really hopeless, so she agrees to play with these idiots. The game was moved to the part where the bearded man simply cannot see what is happening, but those sounds when someone kicks the ball made it clear that the game would be interesting. He doesn't want to leave his friend to fight one-on-one, as it's not manly, so now they are launching an attack from both sides in order to definitely take away all her chances of winning. Just as the teacher wanted to switch to the second player, Ganwoo immediately made a shot, and now the situation is becoming simply terrible for her. The bearded man said that he did a great job, so now he can defeat her without any problems. Now she's distracted, and you can calmly score a goal into the goal while she's not looking. It seems that the bearded man was a little shocked that victory was so easy for them. It's a pity that the main character is sleeping now because he's missing out on all the fun. The situation is simply terrible. It was quite difficult to fight off one, but now that there are two of them, it is completely impossible. Scoring a goal right away turns out to be too difficult, so they decide to laugh at her a little and start attacking from both sides. And here's the main character who still can't get off the couch, or rather, they may just be afraid that the three guys will start a battle. To say that the main character is a real loser is to say nothing. This idiot just watches from the side while these idiots play football with the love of his life. It's probably a shame. They still can't fight back. The teacher is trying his best to take the ball away from them, but the attack from both sides at once turns out to be too strong. When suddenly Ganwoo drew attention to our boy, will he really now understand that he is still not sleeping? Yes, he understood everything, and now his plan for how to play football against this lady is becoming even cooler than before. Suddenly he starts saying some strange things, as if someone decided to play football in the next room. Even the bearded man was simply shocked by such a strange thing and did not understand why the hell he decided to say this. It doesn't matter at all. He decides not to wait long because it has become too boring to laugh at the fact that she cannot take the ball away. So now the bearded man wants to score a goal. The main character is already begging for this whole nightmare to just stop. It seems that soon he will not succeed and he himself will enter this football match. Could a miracle really happen today? The girl said that she refuses to play because she won't be able to defeat two people at once. Especially considering that the bearded man had already almost scored a goal, it was completely pointless to play with them. But she already talked about how she played football with other people, so he also wanted to play football against the pros. The whole problem was that if he suddenly continued to play, then Gangwoo would also have to play, and she didn't want to do that. At this moment, it was as if the main character managed to meet God. Playing football against several people at once was completely wrong. The teacher did the right thing. And while he is thinking about this with his eyes closed, our video ends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and like so that the new part will come out soon.